The key to a fulfilling and meaningful life is to keep company with people who uplift you, whose presence brings out your best self. Yet identifying false relationships can be as tricky as distinguishing a mirage from an oasis in the vast desert of human interaction. In a world filled with fleeting encounters and mismatches, where masks of cordiality and self-interest are skillfully worn, discovering who truly cares for us is an art that requires not just intuition, but also a sharp, discerning eye. Navigating this landscape of human connections is akin to embarking on an adventurous quest. Sometimes we find ourselves believing too much in the goodness and goodwill of others, only to realize that we are being used. Just like a skilled gardener who knows how to distinguish nourishing plants from those that deplete the soil, we must learn to identify true allies in our lives while recognizing those who are emotional parasites. Join me on this thrilling journey as we delve into the subtle signs and less obvious patterns that reveal the hidden intentions behind forced smiles and empty promises. If you are here, it's because you're interested in personal development and the wisdom of forging authentic and rewarding relationships. Before we dive deeper, I invite you to watch this video until the end, as every piece of content is vital to this exploration. Be strong and stay focused. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel for more enlightening content. Now let's embark on this adventure. Picture yourself as an intrepid explorer, navigating the wild terrain of social landscapes armed with the wisdom of ancient Stoic philosophers. These sages knew the importance of genuine connections and the dangers of false relationships. In this quest, we'll uncover our first clue, the subtle signs of unreliable individuals. These people who make and break promises are like quicksand on our journey, threatening to pull us into disappointment and mistrust. Recognizing and avoiding such pitfalls equips us with the wisdom of Stoicism, guiding us through the labyrinth of human interactions toward more genuine and fulfilling connections. Imagine each step we take as an exciting discovery, each pattern we recognize as a key to unlocking the treasure of authentic connections. Together, we'll navigate the challenges, decode the enigmas, and illuminate the path to a life enriched with true, uplifting companions. So, strap in, fellow adventurer, and let's set forth on this thrilling journey to uncover the keys to better, more genuine relationships in life. As we delve into the wisdom of ancient philosophy, we'll learn to distinguish the nourishing allies from the emotional parasites, ensuring that our path is lined with those who truly uplift and inspire us. Number 1. Diminishing or disdainful comments. Picture yourself as a brave explorer navigating through a dense jungle of human interactions. One of the most perilous traps to avoid is the company of individuals who habitually use others as stepping stones for their personal gain. These crafty individuals are masters at deploying diminutive remarks, a tool they use with precision to erode your self-esteem, confidence, and sense of self-worth. These comments, often cloaked in humor or casual banter, are in fact barbed hooks designed to pull you down rather than uplift you. They might trivialize your successes, scoff at your aspirations, or seem disinterested and unresponsive to your struggles and challenges. This behavior is akin to subtle psychological warfare. By systematically undervaluing your achievements and aspirations, these individuals create an imbalance in the relationship. It's a calculated move to ensure that you remain in a position of self-doubt and diminished self-esteem, making you more susceptible to their manipulation and control. In their eyes, your diminished self-worth elevates their status, solidifying their position of dominance in the relationship. Moreover, such disdainful remarks are often a reflection of their own insecurities and feelings of inadequacy. By belittling others, they attempt to mask their own vulnerabilities and project a facade of superiority. Recognizing and understanding this pattern of behavior is crucial. It enables you to see through the veil of superficial charm that such individuals often wear and to understand the underlying toxic dynamics of the relationship. This awareness serves as a warning, empowering you to either address the behavior with the individual directly, setting clear boundaries, or to distance yourself from such a toxic environment. Imagine this situation as a challenging but necessary part of your adventure. Just like a seasoned explorer who learns to identify and avoid dangerous pitfalls, you too can learn to recognize these diminishing comments. By doing so, you protect your mental and emotional well-being, ensuring that your journey through life is accompanied by companions who genuinely uplift and support you. So, as you continue on your path, remain vigilant for these subtle yet destructive comments. Equip yourself with the wisdom of discernment and the courage to set boundaries. Surround yourself with people whose presence calls forth your best, and steer clear of those who seek to diminish your light. This is not just a step towards healthier relationships, but a vital part of your personal growth and self-discovery. Number 2, unilateral benefit. Imagine embarking on a grand adventure with a trusted companion, only to find that your companion's motives are far from altruistic. In this perilous journey through the jungle of human relationships, one of the most insidious traps you can encounter is the phenomenon of unilateral benefit. This can manifest in various facets of a relationship: financial, emotional, or practical. Financially, this scenario often involves the user frequently borrowing money or resources with grand promises of repayment or reciprocity that never materialize. It's like setting out provisions for two, only to discover your companion has devoured the supplies, leaving you stranded and hungry. Emotionally, the user might lean heavily on you for support, validation, and attention, yet offer little to nothing in return when you need the same. When the roles are reversed, they become conspicuously absent or suddenly too busy. It's like traversing a treacherous path, always ready to lend a hand, but finding yourself alone when you stumble. Practically, this can mean habitually seeking favors, assistance, or your time, yet never reciprocating when you need help. It's akin to sharing your campfire's warmth with a fellow traveler who, when it's your turn to rest, hoards the firewood and leaves you shivering in the cold. This one-sidedness is reminiscent of a parasitic relationship in nature, where one organism benefits at the expense of the other. The user, like a parasite, draws nourishment, in this case emotional, financial, or practical support, without contributing equally or adequately to your well-being. Over time, this lack of reciprocity can deplete your resources, leaving you drained and unfulfilled. The motives behind unilateral benefit are often rooted in deep-seated self-centeredness and a lack of empathy. The user views relationships through a transactional lens, assessing interactions based on what they stand to gain rather than what they can contribute. This approach is fundamentally flawed, overlooking the inherent value of mutual respect, support, and give and take that sustains healthy relationships. Identifying this pattern requires a discerning eye and a courageous heart. It involves recognizing the persistent lack of reciprocity and the gnawing feeling of being perpetually shortchanged. It's like being an astute explorer, assessing whether your interactions leave you feeling valued and respected or used and undervalued. As you navigate the wild terrain of human interactions, keep a sharp lookout for signs of unilateral benefit. If you find yourself consistently giving more than you receive, it might be time to reassess the relationship. Surround yourself with those who see you as an equal partner in this adventure, ready to share the burdens and the triumphs alike. This awareness not only protects your emotional and practical resources, but also ensures that your journey is enriched by genuine reciprocal connections. Number 3, emotional manipulation. It often starts insidiously, with the manipulator presenting themselves as caring and attentive. However, this facade quickly morphs into a mechanism for inducing feelings of anxiety, inadequacy, or guilt in their target. They become adept at pushing emotional buttons, praising to elevate you when it suits their purpose, then sharply criticizing or undermining you to create self-doubt and dependency. Consider the analogy of a gardener and a delicate plant. A caring gardener nurtures, providing just the right amount of water and sunlight in contrast. The emotional manipulator, like a negligent gardener, alternates between overwatering and leaving the plant to wither in drought. They use emotional extremes to destabilize, creating an environment where the target becomes emotionally dependent, constantly seeking the manipulator's approval and validation to regain that initial sense of warmth. This manipulation often targets the very core of one's emotional well-being. They may trivialize your accomplishments or magnify your failures to keep you in a perpetual state of self-doubt. They might twist situations to make you feel guilty for normal actions, shifting the blame to ensure you are always the one apologizing in relationships where emotional manipulation is at play. the balance of power is always skewed. The manipulator holds the rein, deciding when to offer affection and when to withdraw it. Keeping their target off balance, this dynamic is not about mutual growth or support. It's about feeding the manipulator's needs at the expense of the other's emotional health. Identifying emotional manipulation requires a keen awareness of these dynamics. It involves recognizing the patterns of interaction where one's feelings are consistently toyed with. It calls for introspection to understand how these interactions affect one's sense of self and emotional well-being. Number 4. Constant competition. Imagine a high-stakes game of chess where every move is meticulously calculated, not just to advance one's position but to systematically undermine the opponent. Similarly, a person who uses you often treats your relationship as a strategic game, viewing each of your achievements, decisions, or challenges as an opportunity to assert their superiority. In this relentless pursuit of dominance, they overshadow your professional successes, one-up your personal accomplishments, and subtly undermine your decisions. Their actions are driven by an insatiable need to stay ahead in this self-imposed competition. Whether in a work setting where they might outshine you in meetings or take credit for your ideas, or in personal relationships where they downplay your experiences and achievements, their goal is to appear more significant. This constant competition manifests in various insidious ways. In professional settings, they attempt to overshadow you in meetings or take credit for your ideas. In personal relationships, they downplay your experiences or achievements, often juxtaposing their own to appear more significant. Even in casual conversations, there's a palpable undercurrent of them trying to prove themselves better, smarter, or more successful. The root of this behavior lies in deep-seated insecurity and a skewed perception of self-worth, where their value is measured not by their own merit but by being superior to others. This perspective turns every interaction into a zero-sum game where, for them to win, someone else, namely you, must lose. It's a mindset where mutual growth is overshadowed by the desire to outdo and overshadow. Engaging with someone who exhibits constant competition can be emotionally exhausting. It creates an environment of perpetual tension where genuine collaboration or support is replaced by rivalry. Your successes are not celebrated but viewed as challenges to their dominance. Your struggles are not met with empathy but seen as opportunities for them to gain an upper hand. Identifying and understanding this pattern is crucial. It helps in setting boundaries and recalibrating the relationship, if possible, to a healthier and more collaborative dynamic. Recognizing that the foundation of any constructive relationship is mutual respect and support, not a relentless race for superiority, is vital. Number 5. Lack of reciprocity. Imagine a seesaw where one side is laden with the weight of efforts, sacrifices, and commitments, while the other side is featherlight, devoid of equivalent contributions. This image aptly represents a relationship lacking reciprocity. In such connections, you find yourself consistently investing time, energy, and emotions, striving to nurture and sustain the bond. Conversely, the other person's contributions are minimal, often tokenistic or entirely absent. This disparity in effort can manifest in various ways. You might always be the one initiating communication and making plans, while their responses are lukewarm or non-committal. It could be your continuous support and understanding without receiving the same level of empathy or assistance when you need it. Even in sharing personal experiences and vulnerabilities, you might find yourself open and forthcoming, whereas they remain guarded or disinterested. The reasons behind this lack of reciprocity are rooted in a self-centric approach to relationships. For the user, the relationship is a convenience, a resource to be tapped into as needed without the intention of a meaningful exchange. Their involvement is calculated and contingent on what benefits them, disregarding the needs and feelings of the other person. This approach is contrary to the essence of healthy relationships, which thrive on mutual give and take, shared experiences, and a balanced investment of emotional labor. Recognizing the lack of reciprocity requires mindful observation of the relationship's dynamics. It involves asking whether the efforts to sustain and grow the connection are mutually shared or disproportionately shouldered by you. It calls for an honest assessment of whether the relationship feels enriching or draining, equal or skewed. Understanding this pattern is crucial for making informed decisions about the future of the relationship. It might involve setting boundaries, communicating your needs, or even re-evaluating the relationship's viability. Remember, a healthy relationship should feel balanced, with both parties contributing to and benefiting from the bond. Number 6. Making you feel guilty. Envision a scenario where guilt is like a puppeteer's string, tugging at the conscience of the benevolent and leading them down paths they might not willingly choose. The person using you knows how to pull these strings adeptly, tapping into your sense of responsibility, empathy, or fairness. They might frame requests in such a way that refusal would make you seem uncaring or selfish. Alternatively, they might remind you of past favors or incidents, suggesting an unspoken debt that you are now obligated to repay. This tactic of inducing guilt is often subtle and insidious. It starts with small favors or concessions, gradually escalating to more significant demands. Over time, your boundaries are eroded, and your capacity to refuse diminishes, leaving you feeling trapped in a cycle of guilt and compliance. The other person's needs and wants take center stage while your own are sidelined or entirely dismissed. The effectiveness of this tactic lies in its ability to tap into a fundamental aspect of human nature, the desire to be seen as good, helpful, and caring. By making you feel guilty, the user distorts these virtues, turning them into levers of control. You find yourself doing things not out of genuine desire or mutual respect, but out of a sense of imposed obligation, often feeling resentful or drained. Recognizing when someone is using guilt to manipulate you is crucial for maintaining the integrity of your personal boundaries and emotional well-being. It involves being mindful of the emotional undercurrents in your interactions, distinguishing between genuine requests for help and attempts to exploit your goodwill. It also requires the courage to question the motivations behind the requests and to assert your right to say no without feeling guilty. Identifying and addressing this manipulative tactic is essential for fostering healthier relationships based on mutual respect, genuine care, and free choice, rather than obligation and guilt. In doing so, you reclaim your autonomy and protect your emotional health, ensuring that your actions are driven by true compassion and not coerced by guilt. Number 7. Lack of personal interest. Imagine a conversation as a two-way street, bustling with the traffic of thoughts, experiences, and emotions flowing back and forth. In a healthy relationship, this street is alive with the exchange of mutual interest and care. However, when dealing with someone who just wants to use you, this street turns into a one-way lane. Their stories and experiences dominate the conversation, while your attempts to steer the dialogue toward your life are often met with detours or dead ends. This lack of personal interest manifests in various forms. Conversations with such individuals often feel like monologues dressed as dialogues. They eagerly delve into the minutiae of their daily lives, their challenges and triumphs, expecting your attention and empathy. Yet when the spotlight shifts toward you, their interest wanes. They might respond with perfunctory nods, change the subject abruptly, or show visible disinterest or impatience. Your problems and experiences, no matter how significant, seem to barely register on their radar of concern. This behavior is not merely a lack of social etiquette or conversational skills. It is a deliberate indication of their priorities and intentions. By dominating the conversation and disregarding your stories, they establish a dynamic where their needs, opinions, and life take precedence. It's a subtle form of egocentrism where the relationship revolves around their axis, and your role is reduced to that of an audience or a sounding board. The impact of such interactions can be profoundly disheartening. It can lead to feelings of insignificance and frustration as the fundamental human need for recognition and understanding goes unmet. Over time, this imbalance can erode the foundation of the relationship, leaving you feeling more like an accessory to their life than an equal partner. Recognizing this lack of personal interest is crucial. It involves being aware of the dynamics of your interactions and acknowledging the emotional impact these one-sided conversations have on you. It calls for an evaluation of whether the relationship is mutually enriching or draining. Identifying this imbalance paves the way for seeking more reciprocal and fulfilling relationships where your stories and experiences are valued and respected as much as theirs. Number 8. Failure to fulfill promises. Imagine the act of making and breaking promises as a theatrical performance where words are the actors and actions are the neglected script. These individuals have mastered the art of verbal persuasion, painting vivid pictures of commitment and support with their eloquent speeches. However, their words are often devoid of the substance of action. They create expectations with the flourish of a painter, but when the time comes to turn these painted dreams into reality, they falter, revealing the emptiness of their assurances. In such relationships, a pattern emerges. When their support is most needed, when their promise is due for delivery, these individuals often vanish, leaving a void filled with disappointment and disillusionment. This absence in times of need is not just a breach of trust. It is a clear indicator of their true motivations. Their promises are tools for manipulation, designed to extract value, trust, or support with no intention of reciprocation. Failure to fulfill promises, therefore, becomes a litmus test of sorts. It distinguishes between those who value relationships as a two-way street of mutual respect and support, and those who see relationships merely as avenues for personal gain. For those left in the lurch, the experience often brings a painful but valuable lesson. Not all promises are built on the foundation of honesty and integrity. Recognizing and understanding this critical behavior is essential for identifying individuals who may seek to use others. It is a behavior that speaks louder than the most eloquent of words, revealing a person's true character and intentions. By recognizing this pattern, one can learn to navigate the complex terrain of human relationships with a more discerning eye, safeguarding their trust and emotional investment. To see these unfulfilled promises in action is to witness a grand illusion, where commitments are made with the grandeur of a magician's flourish, only to disappear in the crucial moment of delivery. It's a disheartening spectacle that over time erodes trust and builds a wall of skepticism around the heart. These unkept promises are not mere oversights or occasional lapses. They are strategic moves in a game where only one player's needs matter. Imagine standing on the stage of this relationship, waiting for the promised support or assistance that never arrives. The spotlight is on you, your vulnerability exposed, while the one who made the promise has slipped away, leaving you to face the audience of reality alone. This recurring act of abandonment is a profound betrayal, undermining the very foundation of trust and reliability. The true test of a relationship lies in the follow-through, where words meet actions. A promise kept is a testament to integrity and respect. A promise broken reveals a disregard for the other person's feelings and needs. When promises are repeatedly broken, it becomes clear that the individual views relationships as a means to an end, a way to gain trust and support without the intention of giving anything in return. In recognizing the signs of this behavior, you can protect yourself from the emotional turmoil it brings. Look for consistency between words and actions, and be wary of those who frequently make grand promises but seldom follow through. This awareness helps you steer clear of relationships that drain your energy and erode your self-worth. Ultimately, the failure to fulfill promises is a glaring red flag. It highlights a person's lack of reliability and their tendency to prioritize their own needs over yours. By paying attention to this behavior, you can make more informed decisions about who to trust and invest your time and emotions in, ensuring that your relationships are built on a foundation of mutual respect, honesty, and genuine support. Number 9. Superficial closeness can be likened to the shimmering surface of a lake. It reflects the image of depth and substance, but upon closer inspection, it lacks the profundity it promises. In such interactions, individuals may mimic the behaviors of a close friend or a committed partner. They might engage in frequent communication, share laughs, and even partake in what seem like intimate conversations. However, this semblance of closeness never transcends into the realm of true depth. This lack of genuine commitment manifests in various ways. You might notice that while they are quick to enjoy the benefits of the relationship, they are equally quick to distance themselves when it requires effort or sacrifice on their part. In times of need, their support is often flimsy or non-existent. They may be present for the joys and celebrations, but conspicuously absent during moments of struggle or vulnerability. Moreover, this superficial closeness often lacks the key elements of trust and reliability that underpin authentic relationships. Plans might be made only to be casually broken. Promises might be given but seldom kept. Their participation in the relationship is often on their terms, guided by convenience and self-interest. The motive behind this behavior is often to maintain a circle of contacts that can be called upon when needed, without investing in the emotional labor that true relationships require. It's a strategy of keeping people close enough for utility, but not close enough to demand reciprocal commitment. In a sense, it's a form of emotional hedging, reaping the benefits of closeness without the risk of real attachment or responsibility. Recognizing superficial closeness is crucial in understanding the dynamics at play in a relationship. It involves observing the patterns of interaction and questioning whether the perceived intimacy is matched by actions of genuine commitment and shared vulnerability. It's about discerning whether the relationship is balanced in terms of emotional investment or skewed towards serving their needs. It's a relationship characterized by a facade of intimacy, lacking the foundation of genuine commitment and mutual growth. Identifying this pattern allows one to seek and nurture relationships that are rooted in authenticity, reciprocity, and true emotional depth. Instead of being entrapped in the mirage of closeness, one learns to value connections that are built on mutual respect and genuine care. It means valuing those who stand by you not only during the high points, but also during the low moments. Those who invest in the relationship with sincerity and consistency. Imagine the difference between a friend who calls you just to share a laugh and one who checks on you during tough times, offering a listening ear and a helping hand. The former may provide temporary joy, but it is the latter who demonstrates true closeness. Superficial friends bask in the glow of good times, but retreat at the first sign of difficulty, revealing their unwillingness to invest in the relationship's deeper layers. In recognizing superficial closeness, you protect yourself from the disappointment and disillusionment that comes with one-sided relationships. You learn to prioritize connections that offer real support and mutual growth, fostering a network of genuine, reliable relationships that enhance your life. This discernment is key to navigating the complexities of human interactions, ensuring that your emotional investments yield the profound and lasting bonds you deserve. Number 10. A persistent lack of respect in a relationship is more than an occasional lapse in judgment or a slip of the tongue in the heat of the moment. It is a continuous thread woven into the fabric of the relationship, manifesting in various forms. It could be through belittling comments, dismissive attitudes, or even blatant disregard for your feelings and boundaries. This behavior can be subtle, like a series of small cuts, or overt, like a glaring wound to the dignity. Imagine a garden where respect is the nourishment that helps relationships flourish. In its absence, what's left is a barren landscape where nothing healthy can grow. In such a scenario, every attempt at conversation or connection becomes a path fraught with thorns of contempt and disregard. The person exhibiting this lack of respect uses it as a tool, whether consciously or unconsciously, to assert dominance or control in the relationship. It's a way of diminishing the other, maintaining an upper hand in a dynamic where equality and mutual regard should prevail. This consistent disrespect deeply undermines the relationship's foundation. When disagreements occur, instead of resolving them with understanding and empathy, they become battlefields with no regard for emotional casualties. The normal ebb and flow of relationship dynamics are disrupted, making it difficult, if not impossible, to return to a state of normalcy and mutual respect. Understanding and recognizing this pattern of persistent disrespect is vital. It involves looking beyond isolated incidents to see the broader pattern of behavior. It's about realizing that respect is not just about grand gestures. It's present in the daily interactions, the small acknowledgements, and the way disagreements are handled. This behavior reveals a fundamental imbalance in the relationship, where one person sees themselves as superior and the other as inferior. It's a dynamic that can never support a healthy mutual partnership. Instead of fostering growth and understanding, the relationship becomes a toxic environment where power and control take precedence over love and respect. Recognizing this persistent lack of respect is crucial for anyone who values their self-respect and seeks relationships built on a foundation of mutual respect and equality. It involves acknowledging the pain and damage caused by constant disrespect and making the difficult but necessary decision to either address the issue head-on or remove oneself from the toxic environment altogether. In conclusion, a persistent lack of respect in a relationship is a significant indicator of a person who views you not as an equal partner, but as a means to an end. This lack of regard for your feelings and dignity reveals a relationship that is fundamentally unbalanced and unhealthy. Identifying this trait is crucial for maintaining your self-respect and seeking relationships where mutual respect and equality are paramount. Final thoughts. Recognizing these patterns and traits in relationships is essential for protecting your emotional well-being and ensuring that your relationships are healthy and fulfilling. It's important to seek out connections that are grounded in mutual respect, genuine commitment, and reciprocal care. If you find yourself in a relationship where these fundamental aspects are lacking, it may be time to reevaluate and take steps to safeguard your own well-being. If you enjoyed this exploration and have thoughts to share, please comment below with your ideas and experiences. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more insights. See you soon.